Good morning, students. Welcome back to Biology class, Biotechnology and its applications. Today's class, we are going to discuss about the biotechnological applications in medicine. The recombinant DNA technological process have made immense impact in the area of healthcare by enabling mass production of safe and more effective therapeutic drugs. Further, the recombinant therapeutics do not induce unwanted immunological response as in common case of the similar products isolated from non-human sources. At present, about 30 recombinant therapeutics have been approved for human use the world over. In India, 12 of these are presently being marketed. First, we will discuss about the genetically engineered insulin. Management of adult onset diabetics is possible by taking insulin at a regular time intervals. If you discuss this, you would soon realize that one would have to isolate and use insulin from other animals. Now, imagine if bacterium were available that could make a human insulin. Suddenly, the whole process becomes so simple, you can easily grow a large quantity of the bacteria and make such insulin as you need. What are the steps involved in that? Insulin used for diabetics was earlier extracted from pancreas of slaughtered cattle and pigs. Insulin from an animal source, though, caused some patients to develop allergy or other types of the reactions to the foreign protein. Insulin consists of two short polypeptide chains, chain A and chain B, that are linked together by disulfide bridges. In mammals, including humans, insulin is synthesized as a prohormone. Like a proenzyme, the prohormone also needs to be processed before it becomes a fully mature and functional hormone, which contains an extra stretch called the C peptide. This C peptide is not present in the mature insulin and is removed during maturation into insulin. The main challenge for production of insulin using recombinant DNA techniques was getting insulin assembled into a mature form. In 1983, Eli Lilly, an American company, prepared two DNA sequences in plasmids and the corresponding A and B chains of human insulin introduced in the plasmids of Escherichia coli to produce insulin chains. Chain A and chain B were produced separately, extracted and combined by creating disulfide bonds to form human insulin. Genetically engineered human insulin is called humulin. Now, next we'll see that one, the gene therapy. The technique of replacing a faulty gene by a normal, healthy, functional gene is called gene therapy. If a person is born with a hereditary disease, can corrective therapy be taken for such a disease? Gene therapy is an attempt to do this. Gene therapy is a collection of methods that allows correction of gene defect that has been diagnosed in a child or embryo. Here genes get inserted into person's cell tissues to treat a disease. Correction of a genetic defect involves delivery of a normal gene into the individual or embryo, take over the function of and compensate for the non-functional gene. The first clinical gene therapy was given in 1990 to a 4-year-old girl with adenosine deaminase or ADA deficiency. This enzyme is crucial for the immune system to function. The disorder is caused due to the deletion of the gene for adenosine deaminase. In some children, ADA deficiency can be cured by bone marrow transplantation. In others, it can be treated by enzyme replacement therapy, in which functional adenosine deaminase is given to the patient by injection. But the problem with both of these approaches is that they are not completely curative. As a first step towards the gene therapy, lymphocytes from the blood of the patient are grown in a culture outside the body. A functional ADA complementary DNA using a retroviral vector is then introduced into these lymphocytes, which are subsequently returned to the patient. However, as these cells are not immortal, the patient requires periodic infusion of such genetically engineered lymphocytes. However, if the gene isolate from marrow cells producing ADA gene is introduced into cells at early embryonic stages, it could be a permanent cure. That also it is an advantage of biotechnology. Now the next advantage is molecular diagnosis. You know that for effective treatment of disease, early diagnosis and understanding its pathophysiology is very important. Using conventional methods of diagnosis, serum and urine analysis, early detection is not possible. Recombinant DNA technology, polymerase chain reaction, and enzyme-linked immunosorbent assay, ELISA test, are some of the techniques that serve the purpose of early diagnosis. Presence of a pathogen, bacteria or viruses, is normally suspected only when the pathogen has produced a disease symptom. By this time, the concentration of pathogen is already very high in the body. However, very low concentration of a bacteria or virus at a time when the symptoms of the disease are not yet visible can be detected by amplification of their nucleic acid by the polymerase chain reaction. Polymerase chain reaction is now routinely used to detect HIV is in suspected AIDS patients. It is being used to detect mutations in genes in suspected cancer patients too. It is a powerful technique to identify many other genetic disorders. This is also diagnosing early the diseases. That is one advantage. A single-stranded DNA or RNA tagged with a radioactive molecule or a probe is allowed to hybridize to its complementary DNA in a clone of cells, followed by detection using autoradiography. The clone having the mutated gene will hence not appear on the photographic film because the probe will not have complementarity with the mutated gene. ELISA is based on the principle of antigen-antibody interaction. Infection by pathogen can be detected by the presence of antigens like proteins, glycoproteins, etc., or by detecting the antibodies synthesized against the pathogen. Next, we will see the transgenic animals. Okay, what is the transgenic animals? That is, genetically genes have been altered by the manipulation with the help of bacteria, fungi, and plants, animals. That is called genetically modified organisms, in that genes are transferring. Animals that had their DNA manipulated, possess and express an extra or the foreign gene are known as transgenic animals. Transgenic rat, rabbit, pig, sheep, cow, and fish have been produced. Although over 95% of all existing transgenic animals are mice. Okay, now we'll see that one. Let us try and explore some of the common reasons of the genetically modified transgenic animals. First point, normal physiology and development. Transgenic animals can be specifically designed to allow the study of how genes are regulated and how they affect the normal functions of the body and its development. Example, study of complex factors involved in growth such as insulin-like growth factor by introducing genes from other species that alter the formation of this factor and studying the biological effects that result. Information is obtained about the biological role of the factor in the body. Second point is the study of the disease. Many transgenic animals are designed to increase our understanding of how genes contribute to the development of disease. These are specifically made to serve as models for human diseases so that investigation of new treatments for diseases is made possible. Today, transgenic models exist for many human diseases such as cancer, cystic fibrosis, rheumatoid arthritis, etc. Third advantage of the transgenic animals are the biological products. Medicines required to treat certain human diseases can contain biological products, but such products are often expensive to make. Transgenic animals that produce useful biological products can be created by the introduction of the portion of DNA or the genes which codes for a particular product such as human protein that is called as the alpha-1 antitrypsin used to treat emphysema. Similar attempts are being made for treatment of phenylketonuria and cystic fibrosis. In 1997, the first transgenic cow, Rosie, produced human protein enriched milk, 2.4 grams per liter. The milk contained the human alpha lactalbumin and was nutritionally a more balanced product for human babies than natural cow milk. Fourth point, vaccine safety. Transgenic mice are being developed for use in testing the safety of vaccines before they are used on humans. Transgenic mice are being used to test the safety of the polio vaccine. If successful and found to be reliable, they could replace the use of monkeys to test the safety of batches of the vaccine. Fifth point, chemical safety testing. This is known as toxicity or safety testing. The procedure is the same as that used for testing toxicity of drugs. Transgenic animals are made that carry genes which make them more sensitive to toxic substances than non-transgenic animals. They are then exposed to the toxic substances and the effects studied. Toxicity testing in such animals will allow us to obtain results in less time.